Hello, and welcome to Armbar Audio. We have returned. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and next to me is my trusted companion,
John Jones. What's up, everybody?
Today we're going to talk about a few topics before we get into our review of Fyter Fest by AEW that was on this past Saturday. So, first topic of information, we're going to go chronologically. Seth Rollins went online after Stomping Grounds and defended the WWE and said, who night in and night out can do as good as me, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. And Will Ospreay said, or who alive? And Will Ospreay said, I'm alive. And this proceeded to go into a major argument. Will was very reserved, where Rollins basically brought up things that didn't matter, like his bank account and such. John, and he brought up Ricochet. He said, we already have one of you, and he's better. His name's Ricochet.
He said,
later on,
he said we have the better version of you.
Yeah. And then now it's no secret. And
Seth, I love you. But
after these comments by Rollins, Ricochet and Ospreay even had some conversation on Twitter, posting pictures with each other and saying how they're such good friends and were integral to each other's careers.
Yeah, and there was one that I found where somebody was like, he was like siding with Seth Rollins and was like, yeah, let's not forget that who was it? Ospreay put Ricochet on the map, and Ricochet was like, "Oh, word, thanks for putting me on the map, Will." And Will responded, "Hey, no problem, anytime, bro. You know."
With a bunch of laughing.
Yeah, he
faces.
says, he's like, "You had a lot of potential, and I wanted you to be all you could be."
Right. So,
fucking hell.
What do you think about this, John? This situation?
I think it's weird. I've never seen anything like this from Seth before.
Yeah,
we've seen it from some other people.
Yeah,
but the other people that have done this were heels.
Right. I have conflicted feelings. Number one, I think that if you work anywhere you work, you should feel strongly about it. There's nothing wrong with competition, and there's nothing wrong with people calling each other out on Twitter and pushing each other to do better. I think if you are holding your company's top championship, you should respectfully show that you are behind that company 100%. Do I think that Seth Rollins did that? No. I think that he kind of went off the handle a bit and devolved into a kind of disrespectful situation. But yeah, it was kind of uncharacteristic. It was very company, like maybe Vince put him up to it or something. I mean, he probably didn't, but it feels that way. But Vince probably doesn't even know about it and probably doesn't even care. But, you know, WWE is facing a time that they haven't faced in like 20 years. They're about to hit competition, not just from the Rising New Japan, not just from, you know, all their affiliates, but AEW has started, and, you know, they're kind of on their heels right now. We talked about during our TakeOver review how during TakeOver they said that they are the true alternative to the WWE main roster, and we saw that Vince McMahon just hired Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman to run SmackDown and executive produce SmackDown and Raw respectively. So there's moves being made here. It'll be interesting to see where all this goes. So aside from that, this weekend had some other big shows. Ring of Honor put on Best in the World. Flip Gordon became the newest member of Villain Enterprises, which is kind of surprising and kind of not. He's such a good face, but at the same time, he has such a history with Marty Scurll that it makes sense. And he's also allowed in Japan. We had Maria Manic, major indie star, the Man-Eater, make her debut. Matt Taven successfully defended against Jeff Cobb. Shane Taylor successfully defended against Bandito. Roosh has continued his winning ways against Flip Gordon and said he's ready to get the title. We had Dalton Castle beat Roosh's brother, Dragon Lee, with not just a bangarang, but also the Bull's Horns, which is Roosh's finishing move, and he calls it the Peacock's Feather, which I thought was interesting. Eli Drake showed up as the newest acquisition of the NWA, and he helped Nick Aldis fight off the Briscoes, which devolved into Chaos. Bully Ray got involved. Camille got involved, and it was just catastrophe. The 6-man tag, I believe, Villain Enterprises retained over Lifeblood, and that devolved into catastrophe with Bully Ray and Flip Gordon and everybody else. So from from the bit that I watched and what I've read, it seemed like a very good show for Ring of Honor. I suggest you check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I was dealing with computer issues all weekend, so I didn't have time to watch anything other than Fyter Fest.
Yeah,
but now
big ups to my co-host John. If it wasn't for his hard work on the laptop, we may not have been able to give you this.
Yeah, I was dealing with blue screen of deaths all weekend.
And last but not least,
but now it's up and running.
With our little recap of wrestling, is New Japan did some shows in Australia. Robbie Eagles was a part of Bullet Club. It was hinted at in the Best of Super Juniors that he did not like the Bullet Club ways of El Phantasmo and some of the others. And at the end of a 6-man tag against Hiroshi Tanahashi, Ospreay, and I think Okada, it was Jay White and Robbie Eagles and someone else, I can't remember. Robbie Eagles ended up turning and joining Chaos. And Will Ospreay came back out to help him fight off the Bullet Club, which is pretty cool.
Very.
Because if it wasn't for Ospreay, I believe Eagles wouldn't have a job in New Japan. I think he kind of reached out because Ospreay has major hands in the Australian wrestling scene.
And I think Robbie Eagles is a bit of a better fit for Chaos than Bullet Club anyway.
Absolutely.
I think El Phantasmo is definitely a better fit for Bullet Club than Robbie Eagles was.
Yes. He's more cocky and charismatic, whereas Robbie Eagles lets his charisma be in the ring.
Yeah. But we're going to get away from that now and get into the bulk of this episode. Going away from New Japan and WWE and all that, and going to Daytona Beach, Florida, where All Elite Wrestling held their Fyter Fest event this past Saturday.
Yes, Fyter Fest was put together by Kenny Omega and Alex Jabali of CEO Gaming. Last year, if you remember, we covered it.
Yeah,
it was an episode called Worlds Collide.
Mm-hmm.
CEO put on a show with Kenny Omega, who had New Japan and American indie talents on the show. But this year was different because he had a whole company backing him, AEW. And you could tell by the production value.
That it was much better.
It was way better. Show. Yeah, the stage setup, the ring.
Double or Nothing and now Fyter Fest have shown that AEW is going to have WWE level production quality.
Yeah.
They actually, in what I think is a smart move, had the exact same stage setup from Double or Nothing. This is hopefully going to stick around because I think that it is smart to have a look that you stick with going forward. So the people can differentiate people that are not as into wrestling as people like us to differentiate between a WWE product, an All Elite Wrestling product, an Impact Wrestling product, and be able to look at things other than just who's in the ring.
Right. Right. I agree with that, John.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Plus, it's a nice set.
Yep.
So
the buy-in, which was the pre-show or the kickoff show or whatever the hell you want to call it, started off with what I feel like should have been on the main card. The Best Friends versus Private Party.
I agree. Should have been on the main card.
SCU of Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian for a shot at a first round bye in the tag tournament that will crown the first ever AEW Tag Team Champions. This match was fast paced, had a lot of action. Private Party really won me over here. They had they did the spot where Mark hits a hurricane run off the top, and Isaiah grabs him in a cutter at the end. They did some really cool spots, some high flying stuff. The Best Friends were on fire. SCU was on fire. The end happened whenever Chucky T hit a low drop kick. Then Trent hit a knee drop, running knee, and then they hit the strong zero on Private Party for the pinfall. And if you listen to our preview show, our prediction show on the Nerdy Mark channel, I said, of course, I picked Private Party, but then I said there could also be a way to make them have them take the pinfall and have them end up in the second round wrestling the team that beat them.
Yeah. So
I would like to see that either at Fight for the Fallen or All Out or on their TV show, whenever they plan to do the tag team tournament.
Right. I think we definitely got some stuff set up on this show for All Out and for Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah. What did you think about the match, Sean?
The match was very good. It highlighted each team as it should have.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for people that aren't as well versed in the people in SCU that aren't Christopher Daniels, this was a good match for Scorpio and Kazarian.
I agree.
Especially Scorpio, because he's the one that he's still, even though he's been with them for a while, he's still like the new guy. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was really good. Private Party delivered just as Cody said they would. Mm-hmm. So like that a lot. And the Best Friends are fantastic, obviously.
Right. Afterwards, the Dark Order came on the screen and challenged the Best Friends. The lights went out. A bunch of minions surrounded the ring. The lights went out again, and they were gone. So ominous. Spooky. I thought it was interesting. Cool. Definitely didn't need to happen since there was no action.
Yeah.
But since it's leading into something, it's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Weird that, well, not weird, I guess, but I think at Fight for the Fallen, Best Friends need to be watching their backs, for sure.
Yeah. So we got, next we had Allie making her debut against one of the librarians, Leva Bates, with the other librarian, Peter Avalon.
I am in love with Peter Avalon as the librarian. Leva Bates is all right, but to me, the librarian is Peter Avalon.
I thought
he's hilarious.
I thought Leva Bates did a really good job of doing her job as a heel.
Yeah,
because when she was on Allie, there was major boos, and then when Allie came back, there was a strong crowd reaction.
definitely.
And going back and watching this match, it wasn't really anything special, but due to the crowd reaction, it made it much better.
Yeah.
I
loved the spot where Peter Avalon was reading a book, and as he was turning pages, he reached and tripped Allie. And Allie turns around and he's like, "Well, I'm just reading here."
Yeah, he ended up throwing the book in for Leva to hit Allie, but that didn't work out, and Allie won.
I also believe at one point the crowd was chanting "Reading Rainbow."
That's
that
fantastic.
I thought was hilarious.
I hate my phone.
Why do you hate your phone?
It's fucking garbage. Anyway, Allie won with a super kick, and Brandy Rhodes was watching as Allie and Brandy Rhodes will be wrestling at Fight for the Fallen. This match was skippable for me.
Yeah, unfortunately, but well, not that it's unfortunate. It was good, but not one. If you want to get really into AEW and don't have a lot of time, you don't have to watch this one.
Right. The world moves fast.
Yes.
If you watch the whole show, it's fine. But if you're going to go back and only watch a few matches, this is not a recommended match.
Yeah.
Then we had Michael Nakazawa against CEO Gaming.
He's a strange man.
Dude.
Not Michael Nakazawa.
Alex Jabali in a hardcore match.
Jabali.
And I did not get to see this match. John.
Yeah?
No.
Why not? Whatever.
I was at work.
Yes.
And BNR Live only had the main show.
No, they didn't.
As a replay.
Yeah. Oh, as a replay. Okay. I was about to say I watched it on BNR Live. So this match, the match itself was good, but the finish was very lackluster. The pinfall happened when Jabali rolled up Nakazawa with like a crucifix pin, but Nakazawa like kicked his legs up and rolled him over, and then that was the pinfall. It didn't even look like Nakazawa did anything.
Yes.
But there was one point where, because Alex Jabali is so well known for video games and for the gaming competition that he runs, they had the bag, which historically in wrestling would contain thumbtacks, actually contained like arcade push buttons that all had Jabali's face on them. And they got poured out, and Nakazawa got slammed into them, and then Jabali got slammed into them, and there was some chairs, kendo sticks, your basic hardcore match fare.
Yeah.
But wasn't anything big and crazy, but it was entertaining for what it was. They wound up in the pool at one point, which led Excalibur to complain that they might start a fire with water and electricity. So he was hoping the fire marshal was there. So it was entertaining stuff, but the finish kind of killed the match.
Then we started the main show with Christopher Daniels versus CIMA.
This was a good match.
This was a fast-paced match. This was a very good match. Technical. CIMA ended up winning with he hit the hanging knee drop backbreaker, top rope powerbomb, and then the Meteora for the win. I thought this match was really good.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it, and it was it's one that I knew was going to be good because it's two guys that have achieved somewhat of a legend status. One in Japan, and one here in the States.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. And two not old but older gentlemen, so very experienced.
Elder statesmen,
very experienced, established in pro wrestling. So it was very cool.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It was like a battle. It kind of became a battle of wits at one point to me. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh.
Like a battle of ring psychology. You want me to pull it up, actually?
Yes, because
that's going apeshit over there.
There's some retarded.
Some fuckery afoot.
Some fuckery afoot. Leave me alone.
Do I just need the card?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So we got from yes. Next was the triple threat women's match. It was Riho versus Yuka Sakazaki versus the native beast Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose. You could have had this match won at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
If you weren't so damn sure of yourself.
That's why I said, but it didn't happen. I wanted it to happen, but nothing happened with Awesome Kong or anything. But
yeah, I was hoping. We got a lot of the 2 Joshi stars teaming up on Nyla Rose to get her out of the equation, but as much as they tried, she kept coming back with the strong moves, and I'll tell you, man, she hits moves real crisp. Nyla Rose is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but in this match and in the 6-man, those ropes must have been not tight enough or slippery or something, because Yuka Sakazaki had trouble with them.
Yeah.
And so did Nick Jackson.
Yeah, Nick Jackson did as well.
And Nick Jackson is great on the ropes.
Somebody else.
What's up, India? What's up,
Indian Sid Siddharth? He's here. I think Kazarian in the opening match had trouble trying to hit a springboard kick or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought that in the beginning, the Joshi stars were a little sloppy, but if you're not used to Joshi wrestling, that's how it looks. But to me, it wasn't sloppy because they hit hard, they hit fast, they transition quickly. Riho ended up winning.
Yeah, I was happy about that.
Which was interesting. And because I guess Yuka kind of has the crowd won over already. And Nyla was going to ruin Riho's celebration, but Yuka came in and helped her. But Riho ended up putting down Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah.
And Yuka looked heartbroken.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Riho's going to be a heel.
I don't know. The commentary team kind of basically said that it's every woman for themselves because they know that the women's title is going to be unveiled and everything like that.
Yeah, and I think JR said something like when Riho pushed Yuka, I think JR was like, well, I don't know that I would have done that.
Yeah, JR was hilarious.
Yeah,
I like that he's like in the middle of like his WWE type commentary and his New Japan type commentary. Because his New Japan type commentary was way too sports based.
Yeah.
And I know that's what they told him to do. And he did a good job at it. But like he's kind of in the middle and it's pretty entertaining to me.
Yes. I agree.
So, I mean, I'd say the match was worth watching.
Yeah, it was definitely worth watching. I'm trying to figure out why CBS Sports gave Daniels and Chima a C. I think that was at least a B+ in my book.
Because CBS Sports sucks with their grades. Look at the rest of their shit.
Got him. Oh, yes. Getting into one of my favorite matches of the evening, the Fatal 4-Way between the best, fastest rising star in wrestling today, the face of AEW,
Salt
of the earth, Mr. Maxwell Jacob Freeman, a.k.a. MJF. He's better than you, and you know it. Against, what did he call him? He called him a middle-aged mark still in his emo phase, Jimmy Havoc.
A 65-year-old man.
65-year-old man. But Jimmy Havoc, he's not young, but he's not old. 65.
Right.
What did he call Jungle Boy?
Probably
He said like a prepubescent Tarzan wannabe, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Seabiscuit.
And Seabiscuit, Hangman Page.
This match was awesome.
MJF is a fantastic heel.
I loved Jungle Boy coming out on Luchasaurus's shoulders.
I like them as a unit.
Yeah, and as a few times whenever he was getting knocked off the apron, Luchasaurus caught him and brought him back up.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be, no matter what happens at All Out, there's going to be a ongoing feud between MJF and Adam Page.
Definitely.
Adam Page ended up winning using the rite of passage. I forget what they call it now. I think
it's I remember because I commented on it. But what is it called? I think I forget.
Well, anyway.
I forget. But it's the rite of passage, but they don't call it that anymore.
I think it was on Jimmy Havoc. And basically, in the preview show, I said that MJF was going to be there to break up pins and get thrown out.
Yes.
And that's basically what it did.
Definitely.
I
think it's very smart. MJF and Hangman Page is definitely going to be the big feud going away from All Out. Because at All Out, obviously, Hangman is scheduled to compete for the AEW World Title against Chris Jericho. Going away from that, I think it's very smart to have two stars.
Nerdy Mark said Red Eye.
Deadeye. The Deadeye is what they called it. Deadeye. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, it's very smart to have what I think is going to be the first major feud in AEW be two stars that weren't built other places.
Yeah, two rising guys.
Because of the negative stigma that is already on AEW with hiring ex-WWE guys, and everybody still thinks Cody and the Bucks are the bookers.
What do you think?
I don't know.
I'm going to get off topic a little bit here.
It's okay.
Do you think that it's smarter to put the title first on an established guy like Chris Jericho?
I think it might be. But I think it's equally smart to put it on a rising star like Hangman Page.
Right.
Whatever happens at All Out, they're both good decisions.
I agree.
That's why Cody's so goddamn smart.
Yeah, and it's so hard to call. We're probably going to do predictions we'll be doing predictions for every AEW show on the Nerdy Mark channel from here on out.
Matt Moody says, hello, guys.
What's up, Matt? Nice to see you. Anyway, our next match was Darby versus Cody, right?
India's asking about Moxley and Janela. That was the main event. We'll get into that a little bit down the road.
Yes.
What did you say?
I think the next match was Cody versus Darby.
I believe it was, which I think was the penultimate contest. So, yes.
No. Third.
No?
They had the 6-man and then the unsanctioned.
Yes. You are correct. Cody and Darby Allin ended in a time limit draw at 20 minutes.
First off,
Darby Allin killed himself on the ring apron.
With the coffin drop. But he came out with a body bag that said Cody 1-1, which I thought was awesome.
Darby Allin is a psycho.
I really liked the psychology of this match where Cody kind of didn't take Darby seriously and was messing with him. And then Darby started really working on the left hand of Cody and ruining his day.
Okay, here's Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Spining himself on the ring apron.
But I really like that. I like that they showed that he can endure pain and that he
can endure pain.
Likes pain.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. You were a big WCW fan, right?
Yes.
They used to say that shit about Raven
Mm-hmm.
and have him lose.
Yeah.
So it made no sense.
Right.
But having this happen with Darby Allin going to a time limit draw and taking the pain makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and the commentary even got a little bit into, she said, Jesus. The commentary even got into a little bit of Darby's background as well, as a pro skateboarder, which I thought was very cool.
And that his uncle was driving drunk with him in the car and died in the car accident. Yeah. And that's basically why he has half of his face as a zombie, because
he says that he's dead inside.
He's half dead. Yeah.
Half dead. And he hit a crazy suicide dive on Cody, coming through the ropes at Mach 7.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah,
everything about this match was awesome.
Yeah, and Cody had him pinned, but right as the ref was about to make 3 count, that's the time limit.
Yep.
Draw.
Hit him with the crossroads and everything. Darby was done.
Yeah.
But the time limit did not award Cody the victory.
So afterwards, we got the Perfect 10, Shawn Spears, come down and hit Cody over the head with a steel chair that busted this dude's head open like wild. And Dean Malenko, Brandy Rhodes.
He just left.
Yeah.
He didn't even say anything.
And whoever else had to help Cody to the back. So I'm guessing at All Out, we're going to see Shawn Spears versus Cody.
Yeah, because Cody's scheduled for a match at Fight for the Fallen, him and Dustin versus the Bucks.
Yep. I thought the post-match angle was all right. I can't wait to see on their social media platforms on YouTube some explanation. That's where you get right now. Before the show starts in October or whenever, you go to Nightmare Family, you go to AEW, and you go to Being the Elite, and that's basically giving you all the feuds and all the ongoings between the wrestlers and the storylines for AEW.
Tony Khan said the chair shot wasn't planned.
Huh.
Interesting. There might be an explanation already, because the backstage at Fyter Fest video was just uploaded to Being the Elite right before we went live. We're gonna check that out after this and see what happens. But yeah, I don't know, man. Not a move I would expect from Shawn Spears at all.
Well, I'm glad he's making moves.
Yeah.
Because if he's as good as they think he is, I have yet to see it.
I know he is.
Really?
Yeah.
Because NXT didn't do him any favors.
No, they didn't, but I was still behind him the whole time, though.
Yeah. You like this, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
you like me more? You like me more now?
Yeah, I do. I will die on this hill that I myself started the Ty Dillinger bandwagon, because I was the first guy that I ever saw or heard cheer for Ty Dillinger, and then he got massively over.
How could you hear or see anybody else when you're just by yourself in your house?
No, I mean like on Twitter and at shows.
Okay. I
understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just went a little goofy there.
It's okay.
It's my fucking show. Of course it's okay.
We're just goofing.
Doing a little ribbon there. Anyway.
Little ribbon.
Your favorite penultimate match
The penultimate contest.
6-man tag. We got the Elite, who was Akuma. Kenny Omega was Akuma. We had Nick Jackson as Ken and Matt Jackson as Ryu against Laredo Kid.
You're speaking in a weird way right now.
Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fénix.
Would you imply that I was fat? When did that happen?
It happened on Instagram.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Sid, but that's funny. I want to get ribbed by wrestlers, dude. It's the best.
Well, because he put something in his thing that he likes, that he's like into fitness or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he said some shit about Ty Dillinger, and Ty Dillinger was like, yeah, and you're real into fitness or something. What a nerd.
What a mark.
Anyway, back to AEW.
It's such good shit.
This match had V-triggers. It had Snapdragon suplexes. It had sling blades.
It had what I thought was going to be
cutters.
It had what I thought was going to be a Melcher driver to the outside, but it never happened, and I'm disappointed about it.
Right. We got to see a lot of lucha-inspired offense from not just the
Laredo Kid is awesome.
I told you.
Oh,
I like that Laredo fly.
Yeah.
Whole-bodied.
Yeah.
He got to do that. I believe Kenny Omega ended up putting Laredo Kid away with the one-winged angel.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
But it was fantastic.
Oh, and the triple Hadouken.
Oh, yeah. They did the triple Hadouken after they got super kicked. And then
you're at the CEO Gaming Festival. You got to do something like that.
They did the triple powerbomb afterwards. So how do you like that, Sid? You remember that?
How do you like AEW now?
Then we got the final match.
The final match, which I mentioned this on Twitter, that Justin Roberts is amazing at his job because the intro to the unsanctioned match was perfection.
I was watching without sound.
Okay, so Justin Roberts basically said he came on after the Bucks and Kenny and the Luchas had left. He got in the ring and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the official All Elite Wrestling event. However, there is one more match left to go. When the lights go down, the AEW event will be over, and when the lights come back up, the contest you see will be completely non-sanctioned. There will be no countouts, no disqualifications, no rules."
Yeah.
It was a very good intro, and Justin Roberts is awesome at his job.
I thought that this match was delivered.
Yes.
We had...
was not quite as brutal as I thought it would be, but it was still really good.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get some pained glass parts.
Yeah, pained glass, little, maybe some light tubes.
Yeah. But good enough.
Good enough. Definitely good enough.
Janela hit a huge elbow off the ladder in the ring through 2 tables on the outside, which didn't completely break one of the tables.
Yeah.
I'm saying that for something in the future. We got Moxley with the barbed wire chair and stomped it into...
the barbed wire steel chair.
Stomped it into Janela.
What a medieval device.
He pulled out thumbtacks, took off Janela's shoes, and atomic dropped his feet into the tacks. Then he hit the dirty deeds into the tacks
Not dirty
for
deeds.
the win.
Not dirty deeds.
Oh, the paradigm shift.
The paradigm shift. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to be getting sued.
What else? What else was there?
Well, they had one spot each with the barbed wire boards.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There was one
The barbed
where
wire boards.
Moxley got like kind of like a Death Valley driver,
Death
is what it
Valley
looked like,
driver for sure.
through the board in the corner, and then Moxley had set up a barbed wire board running from the ring apron to the railing,
guardrail.
and back body dropped Janela into it, ass first.
Yeah,
which looked bad. He got in the ass, man. That's not cool.
right. I'd like to point out that after the match, John Moxley tweeted for the first time in a long time a picture of him and Janela hanging out, like sitting on a curb.
That's awesome.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes or something. I don't remember. Or maybe Janela was just smoking the cigarette. I don't remember. Or maybe there was no cigarettes.
Oh,
what?
Sid just made me very happy. He just reminded me about the possibility of another match like this between John Moxley and Jimmy Havoc.
Yes. Jimmy Havoc already called him out the first night he came.
Yeah.
He called him out on social media.
Did you see on Twitter, Sam McCallahan called out Moxley?
He should.
He said it's time to see who the better switchblade is. That's what he said. I was like, make it fucking happen then.
How? Do it.
How? Do it. Do it in Japan. Do it anywhere.
Do it in a random Japanese death match.
Or just show up in a parking lot somewhere.
Yeah.
Just fucking fight.
With a fucking camera.
Fight in real life.
With a Being Elite camera.
Yeah.
That's
fight
it.
in real life. That'd be amazing.
It would be. So then after the match, Kenny Omega got his retribution
Revenge
on John Moxley. And he came out, he hit him with garbage cans, he pile drived him through the unbroken table.
I think they also may have wound up in the pool.
No, they were close to it. It was near the he hit him with the guitar a bunch of times.
With the guitar and the drum kit. He put him through the drum kit.
He hit him with the paradigm shift.
Yeah.
It was very unlike the action. The violence was very unlike
unbecoming of Kenny
Omega.
Yes.
It was more like the Moxley was awakened inside of Kenny Omega.
Very true.
Which I thought was cool. And the show ended with Moxley's face smiling.
Yeah. Yep.
Like he knows he's under Omega's skin.
Moxley was laying on the ground.
He loves violence.
Moxley was laying on the ground. Oh, but before the garbage can bit happened, Kenny Omega had left before the garbage can came into play.
Right.
It was very funny. And they were helping Moxley up and taking him to the back. And I guess Moxley saw Omega coming because Moxley pushed both referees out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Kenny came running full fucking sprint with the trash can and cracked it over his head. And I was like, that's like when you're done arguing and hear them mumble something under their breath. He came back.
Right. Yeah. So all in all,
but Moxley was smiling at the end of it.
Yep.
After being pummeled with weapons.
1, because he loves violence, and 2, because he knows he's under Omega's
he knows he
skin.
pissed off Omega.
Yep. So with that, John, I'm going to ask you
What's
first.
Up, man?
What was your grade for this show?
So overall grade for the show, it wasn't as good as Double or Nothing.
No.
But we gave Double or Nothing what, an A or A+? I think I gave it an A.
I think I gave it an A as well.
So I would say probably B to B minus.
That's exactly what I would say.
B to B minus for Fyter Fest. I'm already predicting that Fight for the Fallen will be at least a B+ or A-.
Mm-hmm.
And All Out will be an A or A+.
Yep.
I'm already predicting this.
Yeah, I already have my mind made up.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Next week, what do we have on the docket?
What's on the docket for next week? I think I have it saved. You probably do as well.
I don't even know if we have anything next week. yet.
Let's see. Today is July 1st. July 7th, night of Slammiversary.
Ah, yes.
Impact Wrestling's big pay-per-view of the year, Slammiversary, is happening.
Yes, on the 7th. So we'll probably be coming to you on the 8th or the 9th. And that'll be it for that week. And then Fight for the Fallen.
Oh, also said G1 Night 1.
Oh, yeah.
G1 Climax Night 1 will probably end up talking about on the same video as Slammiversary.
Yes.
Like right before we get into Slammiversary. Because G1 will probably just talk about the tournament matches.
Oh,
most
absolutely.
likely. Yeah. So, yeah. But then after night 1 of New Japan's G1, there's a whole week before night 2, which isn't normal.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll do night 1. G1 night 1. Well. G1 night 1, Dallas, Texas. Sid, that's where you are. You got to go.
Yeah. Save up those nickels and dimes, honey. If it ain't sold out already.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Anyway. They announced Moxley for the G1 in night 1, so No Moxley.
No, Moxley's in the second.
Moxley's on block B.
Kenta's in the first one.
Because Moxley won't appear.
It's Kenta versus Kota.
Kenta versus Kota night 1. That's the big one.
And Tanahashi and Okada.
Tanahashi Okada. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. I think it's Ospreay and Archer.
Is Ospreay block 1? I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. So yeah.
All right. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one. And peace and love to all of you.
Bang! Bye. Good night, folks.